Hello, this is teacher Sara from phuketpals. Welcome to yet another GED RLA screencast. The topic of this lesson is parallelism. If you find this video useful, please hit the subscribe button below. It helps us help more people like you. Let's get it started. But first, let's begin with a quick vocabulary refresher. Noun is a word, other than a pronoun, used to identify any of a class of people, places, or things that you call common nouns, or to name a particular one of these, you call them proper nouns. A verb is a word used to describe an action, state, or occurrence, and forming the main part of the predicate of a sentence, such as hear, become, or happen. Awkward sentences are sentences that include awkward phrases or other minor problems, which can be repaired by focusing on the trouble spots. They can also be sentences that are much too long and need to be broken into two or more shorter sentences. And lastly, they can be sentences with so many problems that the simplest way to improve them is to start over. How you can do that, another way you can do that is by paraphrasing, which is a version of a text put into simpler everyday words or summarized for brevity. What is parallelism and what is also known as parallel structure? It is the repetition of a chosen grammatical form within a sentence. By making each compared item or idea in your sentence follow the same grammatical pattern, you create a parallel construction. For example, of a not parallel sentence is Ellen likes hiking, the rodeo, and to take afternoon naps. You can see that there is a bit of difference in this sentence. It's not always quite obvious, especially if the sentence is a bit longer, and they usually are in the GED exam, and harder to spot. Some may be and some may not be. How to fix that looks like this. Ellen likes hiking, attending the rodeo, and taking naps. If you can notice the similarity between the ing form here, and ing form there. Or you can also do it this way. Ellen likes to hike, to attend the rodeo, and to take naps. So you've got infinitives here, here, and here. So there are two ways to do that. Next. Okay. How do we fix it? Well, you don't mix forms. For example, with the ing form or gerund of words parallel, Mary likes hiking, swimming, and bicycling. Instead of mixing different kinds of verbs or forms, you stick to one. With infinitive phrases, Mary likes to hike, to swim, and to ride a bicycle. There you go. It's as simple as that. You don't mix them up, you leave them to the same kind. If you start with a gerund, you can finish it with a gerund. If you start with an infinitive, finish it with an infinitive. With adverbs, for example, the production manager was asked to write his report quickly, accurately, and in a detailed manner. You can take a second to see what's wrong with this sentence. One way to realize a mistake in a sentence or an awkwardness sort of in a sentence is by saying it out loud. I mean, at least loud enough for yourself to hear, and you can see the sort of difference that is being made or what's making a difference in the sentence. You can take a second to pause it and try to think of the best way to write or paraphrase this sentence. You can put us on pause, that works too. And here's a better way of writing it. The production manager was asked to write his report quickly, accurately, and thoroughly. Since this sentence starts it here with an adverb and another adverb there, and then goes on into a different path, it would be easier and better and easier to follow if you continued with adverbs all throughout. Quickly, accurately, and thoroughly, which means the exact same thing. With tenses, another wrong example is the teacher said that he was a poor student because he waited until the last minute to study for the exams, completed his lab problems in a careless manner, and his motivation was low. There are a number of ways to fix this or to make this sound better. Again, you can put us on pause and see how you would do it to yourself. All right, here's one way to do that. The teacher said that he was a poor student because he waited until the last minute to study for the exam, completed his lab problems in a careless manner, and lacked motivation. Here, he started with a past tense and another past tense, and it went on to a different path this way, describing a noun this way, whereas you could write it this way: waited, completed, and lacked motivation. There it is. Up next. How does it work with clauses? Okay, bit of a mess up there. All right, clauses. A parallel structure that begins with clauses must keep on with clauses. Changing to another pattern or changing the voice of the verb from active to passive or vice versa will break the parallelism. So, as we now understand, it doesn't just work with single words, they can also be clauses as well. A clause may change the pattern of the sentence, or the voice of the clause could also change the pattern of the sentence. All right, let's see an example of a not parallel sentence. The coach told the players that they should get a lot of sleep, that they should not eat too much, and to do some warm-up exercises before the game. You know the drill. You can put it on pause, and we'll see what is the correct way of writing this sentence. Parallel. The coach told the players that they should get a lot of sleep, that they should not eat too much, and that they should do some warm-up exercises before the game. Follow that. Follow that. Not quite following that. Works here, and that works there. Or another way to do that is the coach told the players that they should get a lot of sleep, not eat too much, and do some warm-up exercises before the game. They mean the exact same thing. It's also simpler and shorter to write it this way and easier to follow than both of them, actually. Because they should applies here and applies there. Now let's look at some examples from the exam itself. For example, question number 20 here. Behind one door is a lovely young lady whom he would marry immediately, but behind the other door, is a tiger savagely attacking him. What correction should be made to this sentence? Insert a comma after door. Behind one door is a lovely young lady whom he would marry immediately, but behind the other door is a tiger savagely attacking him. Not quite the change that we'd like for this sentence. Insert a comma after lady. As I've already mentioned, this is an example of a parallelism question. So we're gonna try to find what is the best way to fix the sentence. As you might have already noticed, there is a bit of a pattern change in this example sentence or example question. Change savagely attacking him to that would savagely attack him. Let's try that out. Behind one door is a lovely young lady whom he would marry immediately, but behind the other door is a tiger that would savagely attack him. There you go. Whom, or that whom and that works in the same manner, but whom works for people and that works for things and animals. So your answer is number 4. Let's try another one. Question number 6 is about the same kind of question. Then the heated glass as it bulges out can be shaped by squeezing, by stretching, by twirling, and cutting. I'm sure you've already noticed the pattern change in this question. Give yourself a second to figure out what is the best answer for this. Number 1 is the best answer for this. I hope you got that right. Then the heated glass as it bulges out can be shaped by squeezing, by stretching, by twirling, and by cutting. There you go. I hope you got those answers correctly. Let me give you a tip, however, on what are the strategies to try and proofread a sentence so that you can see them more clearly and to make sure that you don't miss them out, especially on the exam. Every point counts. Skim your paper, pausing at the words and/or. Check on each side of these words to see whether the items joined are parallel. If not, make them parallel. If you have several items in a list, put them in a column to see if they are parallel. Last one, and this always works. Listen to the sound of the items in a list or the items being compared. Do you hear the same kinds of sounds? For example, is there a series of ing words beginning each item? Or do you hear a rhythm being repeated? Or if something is breaking that rhythm or repetition of sound, check to see if it needs to be made parallel. There it is. Thank you for watching. That's all from me, Teacher Sara from Phuket Pals. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button below and hit thumbs up if you find this video useful. Have a good day.